Right, good day, guys. Johnny and Mr. Forex Fire back for another video. So we're continuing on trying to practice this silver bullet method. Just going to share the screen. I've got the time frame window set up, and we're starting to come into the window. Just bear with me. Late night. Uh, let's have a look. So this here is the fair value gaps. Each time there's a break of structure of a candle. Okay, we can see we've got a break of structure here, fair value gap. But what we're waiting for is a confirmation candle. The confirmation candles will only come in these windows, okay? Now, if I look back, just to show you an example, you can see one here. Let's have a look. We had a confirmation candle here, okay? The fair value gap was here. It came back up. We went above the swing high. This would have been a winning trade. Well, I wasn't on this morning. I was out, so I missed this morning's trades. So we are forward testing, okay? Now I must stress this. I am forward testing the technique. The purpose of these videos is to make a playlist, and it's not to be perfect and win every one. It's about testing and structurally looking at a method using an indicator, which is based upon ICT and the silver bullet rule. Okay, yesterday it come to my attention that it was a news event that made me lose as well, because the method and the strategy, you are not supposed to be trading during news events. Okay, so I've looked at today and there's no like major news, so I presume I can trade this one going into the 3 o'clock. It's now 5 to 3. And just before we go on, I just want to run through some other things that I've been doing. I run a Discord, okay, and I work my own strategy, which is called the Scalp Killer, just as a bit of an interlude here. So I worked upon 100 block trades. You can see 100 trades. I was working upon this strategy and I wanted the profit factor. I had no interest in the percentage gains. If I had a good profit factor of nearly 2, I wanted to take this to the next step and risk a bit more. The build your plan that I had, which is what I'm working upon in here, okay? I'm showing people how to build their plan, and then it's going to work them into an area of block trade testing, okay? So the purpose of this test was to make sure I had a good profit factor after 100 trades. I was just over, or just under 3%, okay? I took this from March going into April. I took it into April going into May, okay? So it was month after month. Profit factor was there. So I knew the profit factor was there. Did another 100 trade block test. I was on 1.8 odd. I ended this block test in 1.70. But on each trade on this one, I was risking at least 1% or more, okay? I ended with a full 20 point, 20.68. 20.68% growth, okay? So I've now took what I was doing in my, which I passed 200 challenges. I'm now doing a New York US 30 only challenge based upon the method that I do myself. I've got me through 2 challenges, and also month to month, April, March to April, and then April to May. So there's over 200 trades, okay? Both were profitable, nearly 3%, then nearly 21%. So I've taken this into going into this trading today on the New York session. This is 1.54%, okay? But on here, you can clearly see I'm over £200 in profit now. So I've gained a 2% gain within 2 days on my own personal strategy. However, on the ICT one I'm trying, okay, which is a silver bullet, I'm currently 3% down. Like I say, I don't trade ICT. I've never tried to learn ICT stuff, but I'm using an indicator right now, which apparently helps you identify within the kill zone confirmation candles, and then you're supposed to work upon taking a one-to-one risk to reward ratio, 10 pips risk to 10 pip gain, okay? And what we'll do is we'll see if we can get one of those we'll see if we can get one of those wins within the US session. Okay, so we are 2 minutes in, 2 minutes before the start. I'll pause the video. That's a little introduction of what I have been doing. If you want to come in and be part of the Discord that I've got, okay, just drop your comment in the comments of the YouTube video here. I'll try and make this not as long today. Hopefully about, 10, 15 minutes. I might come in and do some little markups with regards to liquidity, directional bias, fair value gaps, and mark certain things up as the price action flows, okay? So it's going to give you a little bit of a mind's eye view on what I'm seeing structure-wise, and then we can see the flow of price and see if we can get in on a trade based upon the NY session on the Euro USD, okay? So I'll be back in a short while, guys. Be back in a short while. Right, so we'll start off at the moment. We're coming into the area. You can see on here, if I just get what I like to call my fire wand. Let's just see if I've still got this saved. There we are, fire wand. Right. Orange. This is just my pointy stick. Right, so what we've got, we're coming into an area of the kill zone, okay? So if I just mark a couple of things up, I'm just going to go structure high, structure low, okay? I don't know whether it's going to be best to see a structure break of a previous high-low, okay? Because like I say, as we've come in, this may be something I need to play around with. Maybe someone who's watching this can tell me in the comments what they think. I used to do a 1 minute scalp last year. I did a 1 minute scalp thing last year, right? And when I did that through last year, it was January 2022. It's based upon a similar sort of method of what this is, apart from the confirmation candles and obviously the way this is traded with the fair value gaps. I was waiting for a break of structure and then a return back into possibly order blocks. So a confirmation candle, all that's going to be is if it's bullish, okay, and we get an engulfing price out, it's going to turn green for me, okay? Therefore, I need to wait and see what, like this here, this green here, I need to see the fair value gap formed underneath the bullish green candle, okay? If a red bearish candle forms, I've got to look for the zone to trade from, okay? Pretty straightforward. However, I did a whoopsie yesterday on 2 occasions. I traded it twice during the morning, and I traded it during a high volatility news event. So that 3% down is my own silly fault. But again, I like being put under pressure and I like to be put into a corner where I need to try and work my way out of a situation where it's pressure related, if that makes sense, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to pause the video. We can see at the moment within the price range here, the high, the low. If I just mark these little areas up, I'm just going to put high.
Sorry.
And then I'm going to put low. Okay. And these are the structure areas. We'll just see what happens. I would preferably like to see if I just go up there 5 minutes. Say as I've sort of opened up, we've got like a lot of intermediary price between the swings. If I go to the 5 minute, you'll see this tighten up into one area. Watch. So we'll do that. Swing, 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 swing. Perfectly within the candles. Take to a 15 minutes. It's going to be a little bit more tighter, to be fair. But I want to structurally see the 15-minute high to the 15-minute low. I want to see one of them to be broken, I think, in fairness, before I even look to enter a trade. I think that might be the way forward, in fairness. We'll see what happens first of all. We'll see. We'll get a confirmation candle. I'll pause the video. I'll come back once I find an entry, and then we'll see what happens with price action from there. At the moment, this may be one that's coming in as an engulfing at the moment. So we might get a confirmation on this because price at the moment, there we are, there's a confirmation there. We'll have a look for a long trade. Okay, I'm just going to place this on here. And I'm just going to do silver bullet buy, trade, buy, stop loss, take profit, 1%. So I'm going to try and take an entry from there, and we'll see. We shall see if we get a winning trade. So we've got the confirmation candle. We'll see if we'll get a pullback again. If this here sort of pulls up higher and this doesn't activate, we just follow the fair value gap with the trend or with the price action. So again, if anybody's watching these videos and they know what this is and they know what the indicator is, then, and if you're using a different way, please drop your comment below. Let me know how you're getting on or how you're personally using it. I've purposely used Euro USD because I can trade it on the morning and I can trade it on an afternoon because obviously the Euro during the London session, the US dollar during the New York session. Again, if this moves up and we get a fair value gap left behind here, which we possibly may, I'll move the buy limit a little bit further up. We've got 27 seconds of confirmation left. Buy this here. You can see here 22 seconds. I've got a feeling we're going to get a fair value gap move a little bit higher. We'll see. We'll get that. 13 seconds. 7 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Fair value gap moves up. I'll move the stop loss. I'll do 10. I'll do 10. Risk 1%. I'll do that. I'll move this up to here. This is where the new fair value gap is. 50% of it, that is. I'm working upon a 50% range. We'll see if we get a pullback. However, if we start bringing the SL into this area, then I need to be careful of the trade because I don't want it to have a fair value gap and a secondary fair value gap, if that makes sense. Let's say we get a pullback again into here. We might have a third fair value gap get pushed up above this, to be fair. Which we've got 10 seconds. I'm just going to anticipate that happening. Trade that. Again, 10. 10, 1%. We'll just modify that. Move this up. This might activate now. This might activate for us. Just bear with me because I've got to answer the phone, guys. Got to answer the phone. Right, so we're now activated, guys. So what we've got to be mindful of, okay? I'm just going to mark these up. So I've got a fair value gap here. Okay, and I'm just going to mark this as a purple area. And as we build up as well, we've got a fair value gap here as well, okay? So there's possible 2 areas within the drawdown where we've got fair value gap. So we might get price coming to mitigate into here. This is why I'm thinking about, if this goes against me now, I'll go into tomorrow, I might wait for a structure of a 15-minute high to be broken, if that makes sense. However, we are only risking, like I say, 1%. We get this back today, we close off the trade altogether, and out that 3% it just means that we've getting 1% back, so we'll be into a -2 from the test. So I'll pause the video. Okay, so what we're going to see at the moment, if we do get a break above this structure high, okay, which is good in essence because it's going to want to be a change of character and move up to the higher side. However, there's a draw on price here, a DOP as I call it, which is an FVG, fair value gap, FVG, a draw on price for price to want to move down here. DOP effect. So we might see, if I just draw something up, we've had a push up, we may get push downs, and then I'm hoping or something along the lines of that. So let's just say we get this sort of effect, and then we move along. Again, it's moving nicely out through this fair value gap at the moment. So it's pushing through that, which is good to see, because now it's going to want to attack this area, if that makes sense. There's no other order flow or price action that it's going to want to go through and mitigate. As it's pushed through this imbalance, it's left a tiny bit here. It's going to come and touch into that, and then hopefully it might skyrocket. But worst case scenario, there's going to be this sort of outcome to sort of rebalance the price structure and the order flow of price. We may come down and mitigate into this section of the price action. We have came into it slightly on this wick here. So there's a liquidity here where you've got a wick of a candle high and a wick of a candle low. Even on the 1 minute, there's liquidity resides there and there's liquidity resides there. The body of the candle, okay, which is what we call the wax, is where you have the open and the close. On a bullish candle, the open of the candle is on the bottom, the close of the candle is on the top. The wick above the top is where price it went to, but then it come back as the sellers come back into control, thus giving us the candle wick, okay? So again, like I said, if we go delve really deep dive into this, you can see you've got the tiniest of wicks here, okay? So that's just telling you there's a little bit of liquidity residing there. If I get my measurement tool, this is barely 1 pip away from taking that structure high, which was going to be the 15-minute, okay? At the moment, we are looking good on price. We're in profit. Again, I don't want to end trades early. The purpose of these videos is to you're either going to have a take profit of 1% or you're going to have a stop loss of 1%. For me personally, when trading ICT, I believe a lot of it is a flip of a coin, in all honesty, because a lot of the strategies and methods, they claim to be 70s and 80%. They're not. I think they're more or less 50 to 60 odd, to be fair. I've tried them in the past and I've never been able to get away with it, to be fair. Okay. So it's just my understanding that this is the purpose why I'm doing these forward test videos. And again, as I go along, it's going to be over 100 tests, 100 trades. But while I'm doing that, we're going to be fine tuning certain things. Like yesterday, I found that I'm not supposed to trade in the news, which is what I'm going to be doing going forward. Okay, so I'll pause the video. We'll be back in a short while. We'll see where this trade ends. I'll possibly wait for it to trade out. Okay, I'll wait for it to fully trade out, and then I'll walk through and talk through the price action and the analysis. Okay, so we'll see what happens with it. We'll see if we'll get it, and I'll be back in a short while, guys. Right, so as you can see, guys, we came up to around about a 0.5% gain. We're now coming down to start mitigate into these areas, which is what I was expecting, to be fair. We've got another confirmation candle, as this is an engulfing move out of the liquidity area here. So this is leaving behind a fair value gap. So we may get this structure move down back into 50% and then touch into this area. We want to hope that overall this low to this high holds. As you can see from here, from point to point, low, high, low, double take, high. We need the low to be contained within this area here or within this area here for then to get the reaction point to then go up to take out liquidity, which has been taken from here, take out liquidity from here to create the high. So low, high, low, high, low within the fair value gap here or fair value gap here, and then the push phase to come in. At the moment, we're in the inducement phase, so the push phase to come in, take that liquidity high to then create the high, giving us that TP area. That's the thoughts and the process at the moment. Again, drop your comments below. Let me know what you're thinking. as this video goes on. If it's helping you understand a little bit on the price action and movement, again, drop your comments or any questions you have below. Okay, I shall see you in a bit, and I'll possibly be on as the price has fully played out now. Hey guys, so we're back, and the outcome of this is, you'll see already I've got another screen. I'm going to show you why I've got this bit here at the minute. So the price I was seeing, if you go back on the video, I said I'm expecting price to sort of come back in and do this sort of stuff and come in and mitigate into this with the price flow. And you can see it's actually done it to the T. You can see where the price level has come to that. So this has worked out beautifully. However, it was a little bit of a mindset emotional game. With these, I think the move forward with this, so you don't sort of get yourself tied into trying to mess around with it, is the fact of set it, walk away from it, and what it'll be with this 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So this at the moment has been a winning trade. The reason why I marked this here, because you can see here, there's the fair value gap of what was the first confirmation candle. Now this is a 1-to-1. Okay, now again, I'm not taking any more than just the 1-to-1 trade. This is not what the method in the forward test is, but with the duration of the candles and then coming back down, flagging nicely back into the order block. Okay, this would have been an entry from here, and the SL is around about the same area here. This here was a 1-to-1. This took an entry and then it went to there. So if I'd had an entry here, this is a 1-to-3. So again, it's just something I can write down as a side note on what I'm doing and what I'm forward testing. But the basis of this system is just to purely trade, okay, purely trade a 1-to-1 ratio within a time frame of London and New York session. Yesterday was a little bit of a mess up on my behalf, simply because I traded twice when I shouldn't have during London, and then I went into the US session, and there was some heavy news. There was a red flag folder news event. So the 3% that I done yesterday or lost yesterday, I've clawed a 1% back. So that's the end of this video. As I say, we'll be collecting data as we move along, and the MyFX book will not have updated yet because it's not a live update. This will update within the next 4 or 5 hours. So this ICT bullet, okay, the ICT bullet will be around about -2%. So I'm getting some of it back from yesterday. Going on my other ones, okay, I went through this morning. 2.83% on 100 trades based upon my own strategy. Profit factor was there. I scalped that up into 1% scalper. Did another month of 100 trades. This came out at just under 21%. I'm now doing a New York session based upon the method that I use only on US 30. I gained another 0.5% on this, so this will be 2% by the end of the day. Again, if you want to come in, guys, I do all of this inside of the Fire Discord. I've got new starters and smart money areas on here. I've got the Forex Fire app as well, talking about that. I've got the free chat area, and on top of that, you've got access to the premium stuff. If you want to go premium, where I show everything, I don't hide behind screenshots. I don't hide behind falsified numbers. I forward test things to their fullest capacity, and obviously my trading style and method and what I see. Okay, so we got a 1% on this today. I didn't trade it this morning because I was out of the house. However, if we look back on this morning's trade, there would have been a winning trade. So that 3%, I would have had 2 winning trades today. That would have been back down to a -1. So I missed this one this morning, but I looked at where I would have entered based upon the confirmation and the confirmation candles. This one was a winning trade, albeit I wasn't in. This one you've just seen me do right in front of you. Okay, so again, comment, like, share. If you've got any questions, drop them in the YouTube comment thread below, guys. Okay, if you want in on the Discord, give me a shout and I'll get you in there as well. Okay, see you all later, guys.